Where we at? Where we at? I don't see. There we are. I don't see. There we are. Oh, we're working. Let's go. Mm, 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 mm. All right. So, let's talk a little bit. Let's do. Let's open up Word here. I need to show you guys why I'm bullish on BCH. Are you guys ready? All right. So let's take a chart. Let's take a look at the chart first, okay? Let's look at the daily. So we are forming a falling wedge pattern here, okay? We can see that the price action is condensing, okay? I think we're gonna have a bullish Q4. The Fed is lowering interest rates. If you look at global liquidity, the work of people like Raul Paul, China is stimulating, Fed's cutting interest rates, Japan is starting to ease again, and if you look at the M2 monetary supply and global liquidity, we are trending up, okay? So I think we're going to have a bullish Q4. Bitcoin Cash has been consolidating, let's see, about 6 months almost. And I think we're bullish, guys. I think we're bullish. Another thing we can take a look at here is the Bitcoin Cash Bitcoin chart. Now, this is the most fascinating chart in crypto to me, okay? So let's look at the 1 month. Let's move it to log. Here's the question, baby dolls. Are we going to form a higher low here? Are we going to form a higher low? Can you imagine? I want you to imagine. I want you just to imagine that it forms a higher low here. It could happen. If we form a higher low here, and then we break 0.01, how will the narrative of Bitcoin Cash change? People's perception changes due to price. Okay, that's just the way that most of the market works. It doesn't work for maybe some of us, okay, that try to get in early. We're following fundamentals. We're in it. We've been in it for years. But 95% of the market, that's not how it works, right? People think Bitcoin is the only Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash is a scam because price. Okay? But if this chart shifts and we break 0.01 here, all of a sudden you're going to see the whole perception around Bitcoin Cash change. Like, people are going to be like, hey, what's going on? What? Something's different here. Is Bitcoin Cash the real Bitcoin? Should I get some? It's going up. Maybe I should get some. Maybe you should get some. But that's the thing I'm watching. Are we going to form a higher low here? And are we going to make another run at 0.01? Do I expect us to break 0.01 right away when we make another run at it? Probably not. Most likely, you can see we double topped here. Most likely we make a run at it. We get a pullback. And then maybe, I would say spring. Or maybe we just go vertical and just break it right away. Or maybe we break support. But either way, it's a very fascinating chart to me. Okay. So why do I think Bitcoin Cash is still a fantastic deal right now? Well, I mean, we could just look at the price, right? So if obviously if you believed in it, it's a pretty good price, right? It's basically in the same price zone that it's been for most of its life. You can see, back in 2020, it's been a year here. So we got May, then we go all the way to May. So that's a year, about a year and a half. Okay, and then here Same price area. Okay, that was like 8 months. Okay, 4 months here. So you could say Bitcoin Cash has spent most of its life in this sort of range. You could say anywhere from like 250 to 400. 250 to 400 is most of Bitcoin Cash's life. Okay, and so it hasn't really started its breakout yet. You could say this is one long consolidation. Okay, you could draw it like this. There's a couple different ways you could draw it. I would do something like this. Okay, so you can see if it breaks this falling wedge, we're going to be pretty close to breaking this downtrend line as well. Okay, and it could do it in one sort of news-driven explosive event, like a Bitcoin Cash ETF, or some major player announces that they're going to adopt it. I would tend to think an ETF announcement would be the trigger for us to break both these patterns at once in a matter of months. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Mr. Kyle. So why do I like this coin specifically at this moment? Okay, well, let's take a look. Let me show you something here. So a lot of people do not realize what is possible. What is possible? What is possible, Kyle? So this right here, this is an on-chain AMM. This is similar to Uniswap, okay? So we've all used Uniswap on Ethereum. What if I told you that you could do on-chain UTXO-based AMMs on Bitcoin Cash now? Look at all these little tokens, okay? So people are making meme tokens. 146. Now, there's not a lot of liquidity in a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? But people are having fun. It's the start of something, right? It's the start of something. And people don't realize the upgrades that Bitcoin Cash has had in the last 3 to 4 years, okay? So one thing we can look at, if you want to read about it, you can read about cash tokens, okay, and what this enables. So many people don't understand the light cash. What the fuck is a light cash? Oh man, I'm not gonna be able to find it here. Here we go. Cal, what are you holding? Cal's a pulse chain guy. You got Pika? Some teddy bear? I haven't looked at pulse chain much lately. The good news is that in a bull market, they all go up, right, Kyle? They all go up. So let's look at cash tokens here, okay? So many people don't realize the engine, like this is kind of heady stuff. They don't understand the engineering aspects of this, right? What's the difference between like Ethereum and something like Solana and the UTXO model that Bitcoin uses? So many people don't realize that Bitcoin, as it was engineered, can actually do smart contracts. And what the Bitcoin Cash developers have done is they've improved upon that model to make it more and more like Ethereum in the way that it can do smart contracts, okay? But Bitcoin, with its UTXO model, many people don't realize this because it only has 1 megabyte blocks, but Bitcoin is actually very, very scalable. So Bitcoin could actually handle 1 gigabyte blocks today, okay? If there was consensus among Bitcoiners and there was actual motivation for people to do it, Bitcoin could handle 1 gigabyte blocks today. It wouldn't be that big of a deal, okay? So that's about 1,000x of what Bitcoin can do, right? So the same as Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash realistically could handle about 1 gigabyte blocks, okay? And so what happens if you combine that 1,000x in throughput along with allowing Ethereum type smart contracts, okay? And so people don't realize how efficient this UTXO model is at certain contract constructions, okay? So things like meme tokens that you see on Solana You can even do more advanced things. You can basically do anything that you can do on Ethereum now. Okay, so that's lending. Okay, liquidity pools. All these sort of DeFi oracles. Okay, you can pass around oracle messages on Bitcoin Cash through UTXOs. So it's important to realize that Bitcoin Cash isn't the same chain that it used to be. Okay, it's kind of gone through a transformation where a lot of people used to think that people wanted payments. Okay, and that was the whole sort of Roger Ver argument, was that, you know, people want payments. You know, it needs to be cheap, fast, and instant for in-person or like online payments. And that's some use case, but that use case has mostly been taken over by stable coins. Okay, people rather hold dollars because it's less volatile. Okay, and you can go look at things like Tron, for example. Tron is the most popular payment chain for stable tokens. Okay, so what are people using? They're using Tether. Okay, people want to use Tether, and they use Tron because it has plenty of liquidity and it's cheap and it's fast, and they can use it for remittances. They can send money to their friends, their family, like Venmo. They can send it across borders. They don't have to worry about paying taxes on it, maybe, if they're trying to avoid the tax man. And so Tether on Tron is the most popular sort of payment method. Okay, no one wants to use Bitcoin for payments, right? And Bitcoin's also going up in value. So why would people? So Bitcoin is slow, it's expensive, and it goes up in value. So why would you want to spend it? People would rather spend dollars, and then they rather hold their Bitcoin that's going up in value, right? And the Bitcoin Cash community, that was the focus of it, right? So the focus after the split for many years was, hey, let's try to show the world that we can be Bitcoin but for payments. And how did that work out? Well, we can see on the chart, it didn't work out very well, did it? This is wrecked. But something happened right here where we formed a higher low. And this higher low on the price coincidentally coincided with the release of cash tokens, okay? And it coincided with the release of some of these DeFi applications that are adding to the TVL. The biggest TVL right now on Bitcoin Cash is Bitcoin Cash Bull. This is pretty cool. You should check it out, okay? So that it's non-custodial, it's UTXO based, it's cheap, it's fast. They have a very nice user interface, and basically what it allows you to do is it allows you to leverage long Bitcoin Cash versus other assets, or hedge your Bitcoin Cash, or short it versus other assets. And so we can go over here, we can go to premiums, right? Let's go to premiums. And you can get paid interest to actually do some of these things, okay? So we can see right now, you will receive a 1% premium in 90 days. So what this means is if I took 10 Bitcoin Cash, okay, roughly, and I hedged it, so I wanted to basically, it's not really like a stable token, but what it is if you took, 10 Bitcoin Cash or whatever, and you wanted to hold it as USD value, so, 10 Bitcoin Cash right now would be what's Bitcoin Cash at? 315. So 10 of them, that'd be like $3,500, right? So if I wanted to hold that in USD value, $3,500 for 90 days, and not be exposed to the Bitcoin Cash volatility for 90 days, I would get paid 1% interest. Okay, so compounded, that's 1% every 90 days. So that'd be over 4%. That'd be closer to 5% yearly. Okay, because 90 days, times 4, that'd be 4.4%. And then it's also compounding. So it's probably a little closer to like 4.6 or something like that, okay? And so you're getting paid that interest. How it works is it's all smart contracts, okay? People want a long Bitcoin Cash, okay? So we can see here that, let's go to longs. You see people are willing to pay because we're in a bull market. We're entering the bull market. People want to leverage Bitcoin Cash, okay? So people are willing to pay to basically leverage long Bitcoin Cash. You can take the opposite side of that bet, okay? And then those longs are basically paying shorters and hedgers to take the opposite side of that bet, and then you get to earn the interest. Does that make sense? Okay? And so look, you get paid right now 13% interest to short. Okay? So this is basically like a decentralized options Okay, these are basically options contracts. So they have 90-day options to long or short, 60 days, 30 days, 14 days, 7 days. Okay, and then you can also hedge and keep it in USD value. It kind of works like a stable coin. Okay, eventually these will be tokenized contracts, and you will be able to buy and sell contracts and use them more like a stable token. Okay, so if I have a hedge, and the stable token will even pay you an interest. Okay, if the market conditions are like this, right? If we're in a bull market and people are wanting to long and long and long, the hedge tokens would have positive interest, and you'd be able to trade them around and treat them like a stable token. Okay, so this is just one example. The rewards they're paid out at the moment you make the contract. So for example, if you were to hedge, it doesn't really matter if you think of it in Bitcoin Cash or USD, but you would get, it's all native on Bitcoin Cash, so you get paid in Bitcoin Cash. Okay, but you could then convert that. So let's say, so when you make the contract for 90 days, right, you get paid that 1% as Bitcoin Cash. Okay, but then, when your term's up or whatever, or immediately, you can turn that into USD. Okay, but you get paid it's all on chain, so you have to get paid in Bitcoin Cash. Okay, does that make sense? So your rewards are in Bitcoin Cash, but your Bitcoin Cash is being denominated in USD, so it doesn't really matter if your rewards are. Do you see what I'm saying, Kyle? You get paid immediately upon entering the contract. So the percentage, it doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin Cash or USD, because it's getting held as USD anyway when you hedge. Okay. So the same is true like when you long. Let's say you had to pay 30% for a 90-day long contract. That means that you have to pay that 30% immediately. Okay, so you can earn awesome interest on Bitcoin Cash right now without having to be exposed to Bitcoin Cash, really. Now, one problem with this is that you have to get the Bitcoin Cash first, right? So someone has to go to an exchange, and they have to buy basically Bitcoin Cash, and then they have to go to this and hedge it, okay? Maybe someday in the future, this platform could connect right to your bank account. I'm sure at some point in the future, things like this will be integrated into like bank accounts or whatever, okay? Maybe Bitcoin Cash Bull will work out a deal with like a payment provider or something, or a bank, and there'll be a way to basically just get dollars right into your hedge without even having to touch Bitcoin Cash, okay? Or there'll be someone that you just uses as a back end. That could be a bank or some sort of money service provider. I say, hey, put your money with me and you can earn 1%. I just have Bitcoin Cash going in the background. Okay, so that's useful for like hedge funds. This is probably the first use of this. I imagine some smaller hedge funds might already be using this, depending on like how much liquidity they need. Or like market makers or people that they need to hedge Bitcoin Cash while they're doing like trades, or they need to manage their positions and they're trying to short while they're also long spot, or things like that. Okay, I imagine that's the main, but this by far has the biggest TVL. I think there's 10 million currently in this app, which in crypto world and like the world at large is not very much. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that like $10 million is very much, but it's something, and you can see that this is a pretty new app, and you can see the building blocks start to be they start to compound on each other, if that makes sense. Okay. So another one is Cauldron. Okay, this is an A&M like Uniswap, and you can go to cashtokens.studio. Okay, you can make your little meme token. Okay, you can make your little Pikachu. Put on your Pika hat. You see here, you can pay to cut, which is a wallet that you can get a browser extension for. You can use Wallet Connect, and basically it'll walk you through. You can create a token. You create your image for the token. You create your supply, and then you can go to Cauldron, and you can basically put in liquidity. Okay, just like Uniswap. Okay, so this is on-chain UTXO Uniswap. Okay, it's 100 times more scalable than Ethereum. Okay, and it's basically instant. So people don't realize that this sort of app infrastructure on Bitcoin Cash, you don't have to wait for a block. Okay, it's kind of crazy. you don't. So on Cauldron, so like when you do a trade, you don't have to wait for a block to be found. So many people, they think Bitcoin Cash is slow because they're sending Bitcoin Cash to Coinbase or using a Coinbase wallet or something. Like, oh my god, I'll wait 10 blocks. It takes like fucking 4 hours. This is an engineering sort of thing that many people don't realize. They don't realize that Bitcoin Cash, a transaction, it doesn't work like Ethereum. How it works is that miners see the transactions first, and that the transactions are already ordered. The miners don't choose the ordering of the transactions like they do in Ethereum. So in Ethereum or like other EVM chains, even though they might have short blocks, you still have to wait for a block. In the UTXO chain, even though we have 10-minute blocks, you don't have to wait for a block to be found. And so when you use an app like this, it's instant. It's kind of a trip. You know, when you enter in liquidity, when you do a swap, it's basically instant. It's extremely fast. It's less than 5 seconds. Okay, and you can play around with this and experience what the UTXO DeFi is like. It's actually a better user experience. Not only is it cheaper, faster, and more scalable, but it's also a better user experience. Okay. So another one that Cauldron. So this team I like a lot. I think Cauldron someday, I would guess within the next year or two, will actually pass Bitcoin Cash Bull by its total value locked. The reason because everyone can create a token, right? And if one of these catches fire, you know, it drags up the whole TVL, right? And another reason is because I know that they are working on this project called Moria Money. Okay, so this is a USD stable token that is backed by Bitcoin Cash, and this is similar to Liquidity, which is also similar to DAI. Okay, it's basically like a better form of DAI. Okay, so people people have come out with better DAIs since DAI has come out. You know, DAI was like the blue chip and one of the first DeFi applications in Ethereum. But now we have similar protocols that work better. Okay, so one of these is Liquidity, and basically what this is you can take your Ethereum. Okay, so in Moria Money, it'll be the same concept. You can take your Bitcoin Cash, you lock into a smart contract, you take out a loan against it, and that loan is in a US dollar stable token. Okay, and then you have to maintain that collateralized loan. Okay, so it's basically just a collateralized stable token. Okay, so anyone can take their Ethereum, 0% interest loans. It'll be the same on Moria Money, which is the same team as Cauldron. And that's what's really missing on these on-chain AMMs like Cauldron right now, is that there's no good stable tokens on Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so we got the meme tokens. You can provide liquidity, but I know of at least 2 teams that are building, and maybe 3 if you consider Bitcoin Cash Bull eventually being able to trade the tokenized hedges. But people are working on these collateralized stable tokens, and that way you'll be able to pair your meme token against a stable token instead, or you'll be able to pair your stable token against Bitcoin Cash. Okay, and that's what people really want. Okay, there's no way Uniswap would be as big as it is and as much volume if you couldn't use Tether or USDC or any of these, or DAI or any of these stable tokens as pairs. Okay, people need you need a USD token pair. Okay, people want to trade against USD. They don't want to trade against Bitcoin Cash. Some people don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. Okay, people want USD stable coins. We've seen it, right? Tether, USDC, the new PayPal one on Solana. People want stable tokens. Okay, that's a massive use case for cryptocurrencies. Your friend Luke, exactly. What percentage of the collateral is required? So I think it'll be the same as Liquidity, and I think it's only it's 110%. Okay, so I imagine the Moria Money one will be around 110%. I don't know if they're copying this one for one, but from my understanding, they're pretty far into it, and I would expect this to be released within 3 months. Okay. And so, yeah, you'll be able to trade your stable token, and it'll be bullish for Bitcoin Cash, right? So what if you have a collateralized stable token where you can lock up your Bitcoin Cash, and then you can get a stable token? That's bullish for Bitcoin Cash, right? Because if more and more people use the stable token, more and more Bitcoin Cash has to be locked up to mint the stable token. And with Bitcoin Cash's architecture, that's basically infinite. It's like very, very scalable. there's basically no limit to how much usage you could get on this stable token and how much Bitcoin Cash you could lock up. Okay, because you could use it for micropayments. You could use the stable token for AI bots paying each other. That's probably a thing that's going to become more prominent, is AI paying AI, or people using AI to do training, or just an AI architecture that says, hey, go make me money. Okay, that will be big. Coinbase is already doing this, where you can deploy AI models for your AI agents on their blockchain. And this will come to Bitcoin Cash, and basically every major blockchain you'll be able to deploy AI agents that will have different parameters, and you can go tell it to make money different ways, whether through AMMs, doing not wash trading, but rebalancing pools on AMMs. Maybe you could teach it to day trade, teach your AI to day trade on different decentralized trading platforms. Whatever. You could teach it how to flip meme coins. You know what I mean? That will be massive. The next year or two will be a massive thing. Will be these AI agents that will basically go out to make you money, and then they'll be battling each other. Okay. So this sort of DeFi stuff, many people don't realize is possible on Bitcoin Cash. Okay, and if this wasn't happening on Bitcoin Cash, full disclaimer, and they were still focused on peer-to-peer cash as payments, like native Bitcoin Cash payments, I wouldn't be holding the coin anymore, okay? Because we've seen people don't want to use it for payments. It's just the truth, okay? People don't want to use their crypto for payments. People don't want to buy shit with Ethereum. People don't want to buy shit with Bitcoin. People don't want to buy shit with Bitcoin Cash. You'll have a fringe part of the Bitcoin Cash community, or any of these communities that want to use their coins as money in person. The average person does not want to do that. The average person, especially in the Western world, will just use a credit card. And then even people in like Africa and stuff like that, they rather use a stable token. They don't want to touch the volatile asset that could go down 90% any day. Okay, that scares too many people. Okay, but what they do want to do is maybe hold some Bitcoin Cash, hold some Bitcoin, hold some Ethereum, let it appreciate, and then for their daily transactions, they want to use a stable token. Okay, that's what they want. We got to give the people what they want. Yes, exactly, Kyle. It's horrible it's bad for price action, but it's also just not even for price action. It's like people don't want to use it. No one wants to hold Bitcoin Cash when it can go up or down 90% any single day, and all of a sudden, your net worth is up or down 90%. No one wants to use that for payments. Okay, no one wants to have that kind of money in their checking account, and it's not reasonable to expect people to do. People want to hold dollars. Okay. Is the dollar going down in value and you don't want to hold it long term? Sure. But if it's like 3 months, 6 months, a year, a couple weeks, anything less than like a year, you need some dollars. And people want to, and we can see, so one thing you have to realize is you want to give the market what it wants, not what you think that it wants, right? And it's obvious that people want to use stable tokens, okay? People don't want to use Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana as money, okay? Not for payment money. They want to hold it, and they want it to go up in value, and then they want to sell it for other things like real estate or gold or a new Lambo, okay? And so, if Bitcoin Cash hadn't undergone this pivot in the last 2 to 3 years, then I wouldn't be holding the coin anymore. But I see the things starting to happen, okay? And we have the AMMs now. We have decentralized leverage trading. We're going to have collateralized stable tokens soon. We have betting, prediction markets now. So one of them is Bitcoin Cash Guru, where you can mint your little Bitcoin Cash NFT that's a token. I actually have some of these in my wallet. And then you can go to the prediction app, and it's a peer-to-peer betting system. And you can bet your NFTs against other people. I think you can bet Bitcoin Cash. You can earn little trophies, and it's basically like, hey, who can predict markets the best? Okay, and then eventually this will be something like Polymarket, It's basically Polymarket with a little more flair, like with NFTs, and like you can fight other people, kind of. You know what I mean? And there's other ones being built. One of them is Paytaka. This is one of my favorite, or Paytaka. I don't even know how you say it. This is another one. So what they're doing is they're focusing on Bitcoin Cash for payments. And they're doing this in the Philippines, but they're going about it a lot smarter, right? Where they're actually building their own wallet infrastructure that they'll be able to earn money on in various ways. They're making escrows, so they're focusing on people like in the Philippines or like Indonesia or Thailand, that area of the world, like Hong Kong. People that want to do remittance payments, and people that want to buy and sell Bitcoin Cash, and then people can also use their Bitcoin Cash through their merchant network, and then they can save money, and like they don't need to worry about the volatility. Okay. And then eventually, things like the stable token will get integrated into Paytaka, and in Paytaka and the wallet, you'll be able to, take out a loan against your Bitcoin Cash, and then you'll be able to use your stable token, and you'll get all the benefits of Bitcoin Cash, which is basically zero conf. Okay, so even for payments, you don't need to wait for a block on Bitcoin Cash. Okay, people don't realize that. And so you can use your stable token with the user experience of basically it takes like 2 seconds from a wallet you control. Okay, no one can stop it. It's all on chain. And it happens instant, and the fees are less than a penny. Okay, so Paytaka is a pretty cool project as well, and you can check them out. Most of these people have YouTube channels, so you can see Paytaka talk about stuff. Look, there's me. Okay, so we're seeing more and more DeFi things start to pop up. And the reason is because a lot of the smartest engineers are starting to leave Bitcoin for Bitcoin Cash. Okay, Bitcoin has stagnated. While Bitcoin Cash, a lot of these top tier engineers, they want to come to Bitcoin Cash so they can improve upon the protocol. Okay, so a cool thing that you can go to is Bitcoin Cash research, and you can see the quality of the dev work. So the last upgrade that Bitcoin Cash had was actually we now have an algorithm that determines the blocks, how big the blocks are. Okay, so we don't have to worry about hard forking the network anymore. Anytime that we think that we're ready to increase the block size. Now it's an algorithm that as the blocks get full, it naturally expands the block size. Okay, so this is called an adaptive limit algorithm, block size. So you can read about it here. This guy, Bitcoin Cash Autist, he's an amazing engineer that just recently came to Bitcoin Cash in the last couple years. Okay, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hey man, we should put this in," and we're all just like, "Oh, yeah, that sounds great. Put it in. Let's make Bitcoin Cash better." Okay, and you can see there's all these elite engineers now. One of them is Jason, one of my favorites. This guy actually re-engineered the entire script system almost. You can go watch his interview on Bitcoin Cash podcast. So I'll show you here. You should watch his interview. It's fantastic. He basically went and read all the old Satoshi emails. Like he went deep. And this is a fantastic resource, by the way, the Bitcoin Cash podcast. This is where he interviewed Amri Sachet, who used to be the lead developer of Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so you can go here. Go to videos. No, it looks like it's not up yet, or it might be alive. Well, you can see him talk about it here. Okay, and you can see how smart this dude is. Okay, and so Bitcoin Cash is starting to attract some of these really, really next level engineers that know what Bitcoin is capable of. Okay, and they have the history, and they're pragmatic, and they're basically they've upgraded Bitcoin Cash more and more so towards something completely different. Something that most people don't realize that it's capable of. Most people don't realize that it can do all this DeFi stuff now, okay? So I'm excited, okay? I do think that Bitcoin Cash will flip Bitcoin someday. Okay? I really do. And I think the reason is because we'll start to see this DeFi being built out on Bitcoin Cash. and that'll cause more Bitcoin Cash to be locked up. You'll see more hype about it. You'll see meme tokens start to take off in Bitcoin Cash maybe. You'll start to see more people talk about the stable token. You'll start to see more developers and engineers say, hey, what's going on over there? And this will cause more transactions to happen, and then that we'll also see more hype and more price action, okay? Combined with, I think that there's a strong likelihood that at some point Bitcoin Cash gets an ETF, okay? We've already seen Bitcoin get an ETF, Ethereum's getting an ETF. We've seen certain companies apply for Solana, and I think XRP now from Bitwise. Bitcoin Cash, it has plenty of liquidity. It's proof of work. So you don't have to worry about that from a legal standpoint. It's not proof of stake. And so I would find it pretty likely within the next couple years that Bitcoin Cash gets another ETF as well. And, same with probably Litecoin maybe Dogecoin. And so with Bitcoin Cash, that could be a positive price catalyst if there's a Bitcoin Cash ETF, okay? I see no reason why Bitcoin Cash won't be the next coin to get an ETF. I would guess either Bitcoin Cash, Dogecoin, or Solana will be one of the next 3 to get an ETF, okay? Dogecoin's also proof of work. It's everyone's favorite meme. They don't have to worry about securities laws or anything like that. But I would expect Bitcoin Cash, to get an ETF, okay? And so you'll have the ETF, you'll have this burgeoning DeFi ecosystem, and Bitcoin Cash has been consolidating for a very long time in this range, okay? And so when it starts to break out, who knows how high it could go this cycle in 2025? Who knows, okay? And Bitcoin Cash has a pretty large community if you pay attention, and I think more and more people are coming back to it as they've become dissatisfied with what's happening on Bitcoin. But check out some of these. You should play around with the DeFi, okay? And you'll kind of be amazed by how fast it is and how cheap it is, okay? Especially if you're used to using something like Uniswap when Ethereum's being overcrowded and you have to pay like $100 for a Uniswap transaction. Using something like Cauldron, you're doing these swaps and stuff, you'll see it's instant. And you can do as many swaps as you want, and you can send your tokens around, and you can do multiple transactions before a block is found, and it's basically free. You don't really have to worry about holding much Bitcoin Cash in your wallet as gas, because every transaction is less than a penny. You can basically do all the transactions you want for $1. You know what I mean? $1 is like weeks worth of gas. You know what I mean? And so there's plenty of room for it to grow. And some of these protocols, like on-chain AMMs and stable coins and things like that, will be the next sort of DeFi applications to start to build out, and they'll start to build on top of each other. And I think I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about that. All right, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll try to do more of these, especially now that the bull market's heating up and I want people to know about Bitcoin Cash. Maybe I'll have some people on and we can do some interviews. But I'm excited. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.